There's been a lot of talk of Tyler Hero's extension in Miami. I've been seeing quite a lot of speculation that Miami might be willing to package Tyler Hero along with some other assets to potentially look and acquire Donovan Mitchell. A lot of it is all rumors, guys. There's no concrete of Shams or Woj reporting anything. This is just random beat reporters and insiders saying that mutual interest between both sides exists. And with Tyler Hero saying either today or yesterday that, him going into his fourth year, he feels that he's earned a starting role. He feels that he wants more playing time. Obviously, getting sixth man of the year is kind of like the highest ceiling you can get in terms of being, coming off the bench. Kyle, I'm putting you on the spot, so I apologize in advance. But what do you make of this potential trade situation that if Miami were to go and trade Tyler Hero and other assets, do you think that that would benefit Donovan Mitchell and his legacy, or do you think that Miami would be able to take that leap to get back into the finals?
I mean, well, I think for Donovan Mitchell, it would definitely improve his chances to actually get past the first round of the playoffs. I think that goes without saying. The only thing that I would counter with that, if Donovan went to Miami, what would Miami give in return to Utah? I mean, we're talking about Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is one of the most dynamic players in the NBA. Granted, it hasn't translated into playoff success, but to say that Donovan Mitchell isn't a superstar in his own right is just outright foolish. And I think if you put him in a situation where he goes to Miami alongside Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, I mean, that's a three-headed monster to work with. It's just the only thing is how much of their depth are they going to be able to, package to send to Utah. Because, I mean, giving up Tyler Hero, I mean, that's a big deal. I mean, Tyler Hero is one of the most consistent three-point shooters off the bench in the NBA. I mean, to be a sixth man of the year award winner, that's a huge accomplishment for Tyler at this point in his career. He's still relatively young. He's in his early 20s. I just don't know how deep Miami's bench would be, just because more than likely that they would have to give up Tyler Hero. I wouldn't be surprised if they give up guys like maybe like Gabriel Vincent, maybe Max Strus in the process. I mean, Miami would have to give up a lot because Donovan is going to require, that's a pretty heavy price tag to be able to trade for. But I mean, you get Donovan Mitchell, that puts you at the top of the Eastern Conference. And I mean, it really doesn't move them from the top spot in the Eastern Conference since they were the number one seed in the East this year. It's just whether or not would that move put Miami in a situation where it propels them to the top of the East to get all the way to the finals. That's really where, they could possibly look at this scenario and saying, yeah, this would definitely be a good move to get us, not just top seed in the East, but, to possibly put us in a situation where they can win a title. I think Donovan is getting frustrated with his tenure in Utah just because of the lack of playoff success that they've been having. There's been reported just tension between Donovan and Rudy at this current moment in time, just because I think Rudy has said in the past that Utah needs to make a decision on focusing on who should really lead Utah in the future, whether it should be Rudy himself or Donovan, and that Rudy's kind of made an ultimatum between how Utah's going to handle that. So we'll kind of see how that plays out. But I mean, to focus on Donovan, if you were to actually go to Miami, I think that would be electric for Miami. It's just at what cost? If they give up too much of their bench depth, it could actually hurt them in the long run instead of just the short term. But on paper, I'm definitely interested in the possibility of Donovan going to Miami. That definitely piques my interest.
Yeah, and the only reason I brought it up was just because I had seen just not just one, not just two, but like three or four kind of different people talking about a potential trade. I looked it up, and it's on the internet in different places. So I'm like, wow, whether it's made up, again, guys, we're not saying that this is factual or this is concrete. Again, it's the NBA offseason for everybody aside from the two teams in the finals right now. So rumors going to be circulating all the way throughout the summer. The only reason I bring it up is because I'm looking at this and I'm saying Tyler Hero's averaging 20 points per game. Tyler Hero's increased every single percentage in his career outside of free throw percentage in terms of 3-point percentage efficiency, obviously field goal percentage, rebounds, assists per game, points per game. So, I mean, he's getting better as he gets older, as he gets more experienced. The counterpoint, like Miami has with a lot of different players, he is a defensive liability. If you are going to start in the NBA and you're going to go out there and put up 20 but give up 25, you're not going to start for very long. I don't necessarily see why a team like Utah, who is at least getting to the playoffs, would trade their best player for a fourth-year player that can't play any defense, for a guy that's come off the bench for the majority, if not his entire career. And I'm going to say, actually, I stand corrected, his entire career. He's started a couple of games, but for the majority of it, he's been a six-man. And then you're looking at it and you're saying, why would they go and get a lesser player, a shorter player, a less athletic player, and Miami's going to send them random pieces? Are they really going to let potentially Rudy Gobert go and Donovan Mitchell or one of the other without actually getting massive pieces back? Miami's going to be competitive over the next couple of years, so draft picks aren't going to be worth it because they're going to be picking in the later half of the draft no matter what. Because if you do actually go out and if you do go out and acquire Donovan Mitchell in this hypothetical, they're not going anywhere short of the second round in the Eastern Conference. They might be an Eastern Conference Finals team consistently if this trade were to go through and they were to keep like core pieces. But then, like Kyle said, if you go out there and you give up Tyler Hero, you give up Max Strus, you go and you give up PJ Tucker, even though he's got a player option. I'm just saying, like, pieces that make this team what it is, you're solely going to have to rely even more so on Jimmy Butler, on Donovan Mitchell to make up for the points that those 3-4 other players are getting. Are giving and providing this team. So I just thought it was interesting. I thought it would be an interesting topic to see where you come from. Obviously, I mean, I love Donovan Mitchell. I'm a big fan. I think that he obviously puts this team into that upper echelon of best teams in the league, not just the Eastern Conference. That's a given. But, I mean, it's just a matter of, will they have enough cap? They obviously have to pay Kyle Lowry. They're paying Jimmy. They're paying Bam. There's a lot of people that are currently getting, a decent check coming from Pat Riley and those boys. And you look at it and you say, well, Hero needs an extension. So you either pay Tyler Hero or trade him while he has some value and his contract is low, or you give him the extension, you continue to play him the way that you're playing him. But again, more than likely Duncan Robinson is gone, so you're going to lose the shooter. You're going to have Tyler Hero, who's consistent, but again, he tends to miss time with random injuries, so you got to worry about that too. But if he were to get inserted into that rotation or that starting lineup, another defensive liability, another undersized guard. So you just there are pros and there are cons. Actually, I can't say undersized. He's 6'5", but he is this big. So I'll stand by it in that regard. But overall, I think that this would be an interesting narrative. I think that Donovan will make them a lot more of a competitive team than they are right now, and that's saying something considering that they were at the Eastern Conference Finals and a shot away from going to the finals. But if Tyler Hero gets traded to the Jazz and this whole thing actually happens, I think they're going to blow it up. I think that they're going to move on from Rudy Gobert. Mike Conley's going to ride out the rest of his older contract. Jordan Clarkson's probably going to ride out the rest of his, or he's going to seek a trade as well. But if Donovan's gone, I think that it's over for Utah's run.